What is your name and where are you from?
Michael Gotland from Staten Island, New York.
Excellent. Everybody's from New York and Boston. How did you originally hear about my lessons?
I just found it on YouTube.
All right, YouTube. That's
Just
everyone
found it
else
on
too.
YouTube myself.
Oh, do you remember what song you were searching for, or what you typed in to get to my stuff, or not?
I think it was it might have been White Christmas.
Okay. So it was a particular song.
Um,
Okay.
it was a particular song, and then I went down a rabbit hole of finding all your stuff. He does Billy Joel too.
Awesome. All right. What did you like most about learning from my method?
It spoke to me, someone who didn't read. The way the way you taught, it just clicked with me. I'd watch other things. I try to read myself songs that I could pick up songs in your method within days versus months or sometimes years trying to read
Mhm.
the music.
Excellent. Just clicked for you. What makes my method different from other online piano lessons?
I don't know, it's the best. It's hard to, you know, the, I, I, I don't know. It just clicks. It just clicks for me.
I've had I've had funny answers from other people. They go, I don't know, I haven't watched any others really. So it's like,
No,
they're-
I've seen them all. I've seen them all out there, and I'm always looking. I always try to see, how else I can learn, but
yes.
yours really connects with me.
And there are a lot of good teachers out there, and I think there's enough pie for all of us. And if I could give some advice to some of these other teachers, even ones that are doing better than me on the marketing and everything, is that I don't feel like they've actually taught real people. I think they're young enough to where they kind of missed, they were born in the internet boom, and they went straight to teaching online. And I was born before that, so I had all of these years of actually teaching really real people, because then you develop an insight and an instinct for what most people are going to need. You know where they're going to have trouble. That's why I do my lessons in parts, because I know that if I did an hour-long video, I'm going to lose people, because they're going to think, oh, I've got to do the whole hour. But if they just have 10 minutes of part one, oh, I can do that. That's a manageable. Then I move on to part two. That's manageable. So I would give them that advice, that teach some real people, actually have a studio of students, so that you develop, what's most people's experience, what are they going to need. um, anyway, so I have to credit all my guinea pigs, my 20 years of 50 students a week, because they taught me how to teach well. On a scale of 1 to 10, how satisfied are you with my lessons?
It's a 10.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. I always tell everybody I'm gonna give myself a 9 point something or whatever, because I'm still trying to get better, and I don't feel like I've gotten there. I feel like there's more fun, and I'm not really searching after something that I feel like I'm having fun on the journey. It's like I'm getting better still at music and teaching, but it's a fun journey, and I'm just enjoying every step of it, instead of feeling like, oh, I've got to reach this high level. I'm just enjoying getting better naturally. Um, would you recommend a family member or a friend to my website? And if so, why?
Oh, absolutely. I have recommended people to your website, just because it works so well for me. I'm always happy to when I meet other people that play the piano. I actually met a coworker the other day,
Okay.
and who was a sight reader, and I went right to your website. I said, this is how this is how I'm learning at this point. I've had great teachers in the past, but this is a great way for me, if I have some time, sit down for a couple of days and learn a new song. She was like, oh, this is really cool, and I showed a video, so
Excellent. Thank you.
it's great.
And when you look at the library, Song Library, and you click and look at all the lessons, that's 18 years of stuff, man. I've been doing, the hard request thing for 18 years. All of it's on there. How do you feel about the library when you look at all the stuff that's on there, about the content?
It's amazing. I get the sense that you know there is more in the like more especially more recently, there's a lot of more popular music, which is, I mean, if I think of a song I really like, I can find it on the site,
Yeah.
which is a lot of fun.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think probably I have the largest library of piano lessons of this kind, of this genre. of stuff where it's one person teaching and the own, I do all my transcriptions I have from the beginning, and I have nobody to thank except all the members who have hired these songs over the years. Because if I were picking everything, it wouldn't be as good, it wouldn't be as vast. But they are picking things that already they haven't been able to find anywhere else on the site. It's a unique, good arrangement that they're willing to pay for because they couldn't find anywhere else. And so every lesson is unique, and you guys have the best taste in music. So everything is that's on there is member generated content. All the people that are on the site are the same people who are responsible for the content. So I just really feel that like that's a wonderful thing. I didn't intend that at the beginning. I was just doing hired requests because I needed to pay bills, but it ended up that way, and I'm still doing it to this day. It's a blast. Michael,
Sean,
is
would
there
you mind if
anything
I
I
give
can do? Huh?
yeah, would you mind if I give you some, maybe just some, I guess something that would be pretty cool to think about when you do some of these songs?
Say that again. I didn't get the first of that.
Maybe something you could think about in when you do, when you cover the songs and your videos. Something
Uh-huh.
that I always do when I'm learning to play a song, like I always like to see the live versions.
Oh yeah,
So maybe at the end, it would be really cool at the end of your videos. For instance, New York State of Mind. I love the 19, if you go on YouTube and find the 1970s versions when
sure.
Billy Joel was in his absolute prime. And a lot of his songs, when he's doing the main intro, he does these cool things with some thirds, and
Oh yeah.
there's some things that he does. You probably know what I'm talking about
Yes, I do.
already. You know, I think it would be really cool, like at the end of some of these videos, to
Okay.
just, a little Sean's take on some of his favorite moments or cool things at the live videos. Here's New York State
Oh,
of
the live,
Mind.
yeah. We've actually thought
Like,
about doing
like,
a podcast of that, of picking different performances and just picking up, oh, this is a neat little, one or two measures of something and showing that. That's a great idea, and you've kind of confirming that for me on that. But I've heard some. I haven't had the chance to do a lot of Billy Joel live. His album versions are pretty dang good, but yeah, he does stuff in his live that's really neat. I don't have a whole lot of those. Most of them are album versions, but a friend of mine had Sirius XM, and I'm hearing all these live versions he did, and it's really neat. So I hope I get the opportunity to do some more live versions of Billy Joel. On the Elton John, it's pretty much live, all of it, because you get the best stuff. He usually the best stuff on the live. But thank you for confirming that for me. Michael, is there anything I can do for you today? Anything you want to ask me?
no, I asked you a lot of questions along the way. Thanks. I just want to say thanks, Sean, seriously, for, for somebody that I go back 15 years ago that had given up really on piano to find it again as an adult, and giving us the platform to learn a different way quickly and have a lot of fun along the way. And so seriously, thank you for that.
You're welcome. And it does my heart so good as a teacher just to hear that you guys are still playing, you're still enjoying it, and it's kind of um, it's a God given thing that I was given to be able to do this for you guys, and I love being a part of it. That you have, a way to learn when you were struggling a different way, and you had music and you want to play, and for some reason this system and this community we have on the website has been able to allow you to do that. Michael, anytime you need anything, I'm not going to disappear now you got the lifetime. Okay. I'm still here. I'm still talking to all my lifetime members. Look at all the testimonials. I'm still involved with them. And I'm even trying to invite some of them to come here and do a podcast with me, come in the house. And if you're ever in the Waco area, I know you're far away there in New York, but if you're ever in the Waco area, please contact me and we can get a cup of coffee or something, maybe come in the studio and jam a little bit. I have all these instruments here, drums, bass, everything. My son plays guitar really well. We can play some music or something. If you're ever in the area, let me know. And if you ever, when you need some help with your daughter, I'm always here to help you. We can do a Zoom call again or a phone call or something, whatever you need.
Thanks so much, Sean.
Thank you, Michael. We'll talk to you
Really
later.
appreciate it. All right, talk later.
Bye. I'm surprised you're so young. I expected it. Yeah, a lot of my members are older guys that do gigging bands, and here this young guy comes on. How you doing?
I'm really good. It's so nice to meet you.
Yes, nice to meet you. Thank you. Sorry for the lateness, man. Me and my son were practicing work, going to do a gig, and we've got 30 songs going. We were in the middle of Billy Joel, New York State of Mind, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm forgetting something." Had on the calendar, everything. Well, here I am now.
No
Uh,
problem. This is really cool.
all right. So, great. How long have you been with me?
Probably somewhere between 10 and 15 years now.
That long? If you don't mind,
Yeah,
how old are you? Are you one of those guys that looks a lot younger than you
I
are?
look younger than I am,
Okay.
36. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's a while. Yeah, I
Yeah.
started in 2007 on YouTube. And yeah, a lot of these people I've been talking to for the testimonials are, 10, 15 years, a lot of them. So it's really surprising to me to realize that people have been with me for that long and they're sticking around. It's great. So you just bought the lifetime membership, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
I
and
did.
I got you all set up there. I sent that email, so let me know if anything in there doesn't work or look right. That's great. So why did what made you decide to go lifetime on it?
Probably my daughter, now that she's starting to play, and I just said, you know, yeah, I mean, a couple things. One, I really want to thank you because my story is probably like so many of your other students. I
I
started
still
as
want
a
to hear.
kid. Started as a kid. It's pretty funny. My mom actually bought a electric piano, and I was 5 or 6 years old, and she was
Okay.
playing. And I told her, "Hey, mom, you're not very good." I was 5 years old, and she said, "Oh, you think you could do better? Why don't you try to play?" And I couldn't play, but I was interested, so she got me lessons.
Yeah.
And you know, right away, I didn't realize it at the time, but I had a talent to watch my teacher's hands
Yeah.
and repeat, then just do whatever she did at
Got
six,
a good
7 years
ear.
old. Yeah, a good ear, and I needed to see it.
Uh-huh.
So it wasn't like I could just close my eyes and play it. I could just, if I watched her, what she was
Sure.
doing, and I could play it. So, I started playing classical songs like right away. Problem was she thought I was reading and I wasn't reading.
Right.
So I was able to play songs. I went probably faster than maybe I should have. Never really
Yeah.
learned how to read music. I did a lot of concerts and things like that, and I accompanied choruses. So it was a lot of fun.
Good.
I got pretty good on it, and
Yeah.
then high school I kind of lost interest and I stopped playing, and I never probably reached my full potential. So then as an adult,
So
I'll
why
never
did you
forget.
stop? Why do you think?
I
What would you say why
wasn't.
you stopped?
I don't know. I didn't enjoy it
Okay.
as a kid. I didn't. It was something I had to.
Why? Why
I
didn't
think
you enjoy it?
I think I did it all wrong. My routine. I would memorize songs, so I had a repertoire of probably somewhere between, I don't know, 10 and 20 songs. And my routine at the piano would be to just play the songs that I knew to keep them in my memory because I couldn't read. I didn't really have a way of, picking things up that fast. I had, the typical piano teacher that would come once a week. And so I just needed to keep up because I wasn't really learning probably the right way.
Yeah.
That in order for me to keep playing and enjoy what I'm playing, I had to keep playing the same songs and it
Yeah.
got boring and right. And I just stopped and it wasn't fun anymore.
Do you feel like you're
And I remember
a decent music reader? Do you think you're a good note reader or you're average or do you feel like you're not good at it
I feel like I'm not good
at reading? But you can if you have to.
note by note, note
Yeah.
by note.
Yeah.
I actually was doing your course and I was getting I don't know if you still do it. Is it still on the site? I don't remember. There was for a
The
while
sight
you
reading
had
boot camp?
the sight reading course and I made it through
Yes.
and I was following it and I really came a long way. It was and then I had I think I don't know kid number one or kid number two and
Yeah.
I couldn't keep up with it anymore. I don't play a ton now. Now I'm playing the joy that I'm getting is with my daughter. But
Yeah.
to take it full
Totally.
circle, I remember I was watching a movie and there was like a piano part in the movie and I was like, oh, that's really beautiful. Like, and then I thought I said, well, I could do that. I could play that.
Yeah.
And then I found you on YouTube. Um, and the way you taught, this was back with the
Yeah.
old whiteboard and your little
Yes. You're
face
probably in your
popping.
late 20s or something at that time, I would imagine.
I'm in, yeah, I think early 20s, I think at that time. I
Okay.
think I was probably like 20, 21, 22, something like that. It's
Oh
probably been
wow.
15 years following you now.
Oh
Um,
wow. Okay.
And and I was like, oh, look, he does all Billy Joel. Like I love Billy Joel. All these songs that I love. So I just that's and then with your methods, I was able to pick it up in like two. I think I did Scenes from an Italian Restaurant in maybe 4 or 5 days. I was so into it,
Oh
and it
wow.
just
I
it
love that
was a,
song.
it was perfect for my the way I learn.
Okay.
Even the way you slow it down and the way it was just there was a lot. Even at the time there was still a lot of people, and it just for whatever I just think you're the best. You're the best at it.
Well, thank
So
you.
so it was I've been a member and a follower, and I did a ton of songs of yours. Don't remember them all at
Okay.
this time. I was
What are the main artists
I
that you've done? Yeah, I guess Billy Joel. You've done a lot of Billy Joel songs. Any Elton
did
John?
Billy Joel songs, and I actually the one I'm most proud of
What?
is the Chopin song
Which
that
one?
the E flat major. Yep,
Nocturne. Yeah.
yep, yep, the Nocturne. So I still that
Awesome.
one I still have. That one I still have, and I was like, I'm not
Excellent.
losing this one.
Well, Michael, I have
Because
to
again,
tell
the
you,
way
I went through the same thing. I was a terrible note reader, and I still am compared to my playing level because I can play anything. I can play Liszt if I want to, um, but my reading level is not near as close to that playing level as I would like it to be, and it will never will be. My brain doesn't work that way. Although I can read music, and I'm some people would see me sight read something and say, "Well, that's awesome," but for me, I know people who can sight read me under the table. Um, so it was a struggle for me as well. I went through the same thing. I feel like people who are really talented musically with their ear, a lot of times are the worst readers. Don't know why. My suspicion is that after teaching 50 students a week for 20 years, is that the good ear is a strength. And so when you're playing and you're watching your teacher, even though you're watching her, you're still using your ear to do that. And when you go to play, you're using your ear. And the memorization is part of it as well, because most people don't have that good of an ear. Most, as you do, most people can't memorize that quickly as you could. So you're going to use that strength that you have automatically right out of the gate. Whereas learning to read music is a skill that's really tough and it takes a long time to develop. And as you're playing these songs and you're staying on the same one, you've already memorized the thing. And so that's not helping you read any. You just memorize it. Teacher thinks you're reading and you're not. I mean, I did the same thing, fooled my teacher. And then you move on to the next one, you memorize it, and then she thinks you're reading, and you just keep repeating it, and your memory gets really good, your ear gets really good. That's your strength, while the sight reading becomes weaker and weaker as the music gets harder. And I see that pattern all the time. And I love that you said when you got to my lessons, it just immediately clicked. So some people will say that immediately clicks. Some people look at it and go, "What is this? I don't know if I can understand this." And those are usually music readers who like my stuff because of the accurate arrangements and they want to play my arrangement, but they kind of have this block of, I just want to read music instead. I want, so they can't make it over. But you're an example for me. You're a good commercial for me because you can read music. You went through it, and I mean, if you accompanied ensembles, that's incredible. You can read music, yet this still kind of clicked for you. So my way is not a lesser way. It's not cheating. It's not better. It's just a different way. And so that's what I keep trying to get out to people is it's just a different way to do it, mainly for all you people who are super talented and want to play the fun songs you want to, that you hear, and you want to play them like the album. And I just kind of give you a way to do that because I had tons of students who were in the same boat as me and you and all these other people. And I just decided at that point, I'm going to try something for everyone in that same boat because I know what it's like. And it immediately took off on YouTube, and all the people on the website, especially all the lifetime members, tend to be like you and me and everyone else who has a pretty good ear, wants authentic arrangements, and just needs a different way to do it. So yeah, I want to ask you about the like what's the most difficult? Oh, you said you played the Chopin Nocturne. That's pretty difficult, I would say. That's expert level to
the
me.
yeah
Um,
I got through. One of my lifetime goals is to play the third movement of Moonlight Sonata, and I am not, don't put this on the website. I got past the part that you said is the hardest part. Had it memorized. It was somewhere in between. I don't even know what sheet we were on, like
yeah,
7 or 8. I was killing it, and then just like got in the way, and and I
yeah.
stopped playing it. So I know I know I can do that one. I
Life
just don't
does
have
that.
the time
Yes.
right now. But when my daughter's ready for it, I'm hoping now I can,
Yes,
I
and
can
I
grow with
want to
her.
I want to get to that helping you with her because you're really concerned about your kids. So am I, and that's the greatest concern we can have. So I want to make sure we get to that. Me giving you a plan to help her, and it really helps that you can already play and you know the ropes. You'll just kind of be her guide. How old is she?
She's 5.
5. Okay, that's a bit young, but she could still do it. Is she like really interested in it? Is she wanting to do it?
She's interested. We got her all
Okay,
kinds of basic books and stuff, and she's able to, if the notes are in there, she knows, and she's playing songs. I mean, she's playing songs. She's doing
excellent.
doing
How's
really
her
well.
physical? Like her hand? Is she got a? Is it a super small hand, or can she reach a fifth or a sixth? You think?
Yeah, she can read. Yeah,
Okay,
she can
excellent.
read.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah. Well, and the
I think
girls can usually start
I
younger
think
than the
she's got the
boys.
talent.
What'd you say?
I'm sorry, what was that, Tron?
I said the girls can usually start younger than boys. They're usually a little smarter than us guys. They just are. So, uh, yeah. So, do you like also that? You know what I want to do? At the end, I'm going to ask you these. It's just for my videographer. We're doing testimonial questions, and it'll take about 5 minutes, and I'll ask you some questions. It'll sound like you're repeating yourself for some of them, but if you wouldn't mind just doing that for my videographer, because we're doing testimonials on the website, and yours is going to be great. But do you realize or do you notice that when I do my arrangement, this is kind of I think what sets me apart, I think, from most of the other online teachers, is that I like to give you guys authentic, right, as close as I can get to what the album sounds like. So it's not going to be this sounds kind of like it, or just give you the chords and say, do this. I want to give you note for note, as best I can, what's going on. And maybe Elton John is vamping on a chord. Instead of writing all of those single notes that I just played, I'd rather just show you the chord and say, this is what's going through his mind when he's vamping. Because he's not reading sheet music. He's in the moment feeling the rhythm. So I want to teach you guys how to feel that. I want to teach you how to do it instead of just showing you what he's doing in a particular moment in time in a particular performance in 1981. So those kind of things. Do you notice that the authenticity of the arrangements that I strive for that? Do you care about that, or does that something you
I
you want?
I do. I do care about it. I enjoy it. I also enjoy the way you teach it. You talk about rhythms because if I couldn't, if you tried to write out every single thing on the board, you say it in all your videos.
Yeah,
No, it wouldn't work for me.
me either.
I pick up the rhythms and I'm listening to what you're doing and the basics of the chords and, I know the chords. So, I pick stuff like that up. I mean, that's instant for me.
Yeah.
The second you throw it on the video and I have the chords, I get through the changes and then I'm there already. So I love it. It's really good.
Wow. Hey, Michael, do you play in a band or do you gig? Do you do anything where you play for other people? You ever done that?
No, I used to accompany when I was a kid. I accompanied
Yeah,
the
me too.
chorus, which was a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
when
But
I
no,
was
I
in
never did.
junior high, I had a little, they had solo and ensemble in junior high, and all the kids, you had 50 clarinetists, and they're playing the same thing, and so I would just sit in the room at the piano, and I'd have this same piece I'd play over and over, memorized, of course. That's how we do it, and just a little jar there, and they'd put their money in. They come in, $10 for each one. Pretty good living, seventh grade doing that. But
Well,
I did that, huh?
don't tell my parents, but when we had some parties in college, and I would get at the piano, and we'd have 50 people just singing Billy Joel songs. That's probably the most fun. I went
So
through
you did
all
do
on
it.
your site. I
Okay.
did. Yeah, that's that. So it wasn't a band, but it was just everybody singing. We went through
Yes.
probably, I
Yes.
don't know, a good six or
Uh,
seven Billy Joel songs back to back with everybody singing, and we had a ball. I was probably about 20. That was right in the beginning of when I started.
yeah.
With probably 23, 22,
Yeah.
something like that.
Let
Yeah.
me give you some advice for your daughter. What's going to keep her in it is her interest in loving it. That's the one thing you got to look at because all the work we can do, we don't do it for work's sake. We do it because we want to have fun at something. And she needs to be having fun with it. And the most fun that you can expose her to is that kind of thing, which you just talked about. Maybe not a party or anything where they're, you know, bunch of college guys, but something where you're out and people are hearing you play or others. Take her to places where people are gigging and let her see people's faces, the ones that are playing and enjoying singing, and then everyone listening. Let her have that experience. And even if you're able to do it yourself, I mean, we have, especially dads, have a tremendous impact on their daughters. I mean, there's something about a dad and their daughter. You know, I have 3 sons, but there's something extra special about that little princess. You know, and that'll have a tremendous effect on her. She'll want to do it because that's what's happening at my house. I'm getting ready for a gig with my son because I used to do it on and off, but never anything seriously all the time, you know, where it was a regular thing. But he really wants to do it. So we're working on it. We're going to start gigging around Waco. And my youngest daughter is just so getting into it. She wants to be a part of the band. She wants to play the drums. She's got her bass in her room. I set her up last night. I gave her a lifetime membership and she's on there. And she just figured out. She goes, "Dad, that keyboard you're playing on in that old video where you look young, this is the same one." I was like, "Yes, it is." So I gave her that old Casio, and she's pumped up and fired up. And she's in their bedroom. She started, you know, I'm guiding her with it. So right now I want to get to, let me get to those. No, we'll do the testimonial at the end. Evan, what time is it? Let me see. I don't want to run out of time. Oh, we're good. We're good. Okay. So 5 years old, loves music. What I would do with her is you're going to have to really guide her, because what can really crush the confidence of a kid is trying something too hard and failing at it. And you want to give her success after success after success. You want to it's better to play a lot of stuff that's really easy and enjoy it instead of saying, okay, let's do a challenge. Let's try to do something hard so that you can, because there's a risk there in doing that. Maybe when you get a little older, that's good. But as a kid, play a lot of stuff and make it easy. Don't be too critical. Like my daughter's playing what I just played for you like this. She's going. So the left hand's not quite right. She's not. And I'm going to let that go for a little bit because she's having so much fun. I'm not going to come in there and, you know, when I might feel like I'm helping her, but I'm doing this. I'm knocking her building down. Sometimes that's the hardest thing sometimes as a parent, to let a few things be wrong while you get something else right. So don't be too critical if she's not playing exactly, you know, with rhythms and things. If she's smiling and having fun, wonderful. The time when you really want to help her is when she's going, "Man, this is kind of hard. Can you help me?" So you'll have to go in and say, "Well, let's do this. Let's practice this way. Let's try this." But then also to say, "You know what? This one's harder than I thought it was. Let's try another song," because there's a million songs to do. Being able to leave that and go to another one. Those two things are most important. Now she's 5. You're really going to have to watch what you're doing. If you want her to read music, you may want her to learn to read. My daughter, I tried, but she's going down the same path, you know, I did and everyone else is, where I'm doing, and I'm a good teacher, even with learning to read music, and she's just not having it. You know, she loves music, and so I'm not going to keep pressuring that. She's 11, and I'm not gonna do that. So I've let her go to the whiteboard thing, and she's just immediately, it's just clicking, it's just going, and it's working for her. So I'm going to let her do that. But if you want to expose her to that, it's not. You know, it's a good skill to have. I'm not against note reading. I mean, it's great to be able to do it. So if you want her to do that, you have, as a lifetime member, you're a family, so you have access to those 100 sight reading boot camp lessons. Those are there. Maybe a little bit later on if you want her to do that. But that's I'll have to leave that up to you guys, because you're there with her, you know her. So if she wants to learn that skill, they're there. They have, you know, there's sheets for all the lessons there, and she can practice that if she wants to learn the skill. And that's what those are about. They aren't about learning songs. They're about learning the skill of reading, so that you can go get any piece of sheet music and play it if you want to. That's what it's about. Now, as far as doing the white, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to ask another. The one thing that I'd say I'm not, you know, I'm 36. I'm not done yet. Now is a very tough time with 2 little kids for me to get to the piano. But my goal for myself and for my daughter, and maybe my son one day, he's only 3, is kind of like you do, to be able to pick up anything. You know, when people ask me, "Hey, do you know this one? Can you play this one?" And even if I can hear it, I can't play it. Now, if I go on your site and work on it for 2 weeks,
Yeah.
I can do it. But my goal would be eventually, I know theory too, right? I know all the
Sure.
keys, I know music theory, I know all the chords, but I haven't gotten to the point where, I can just any kind of song, with using my talent and my ear and what I know in theory to be able to just, make an arrangement myself.
Okay.
That would be my goal.
Yeah. To
So
make an
any
arrangement
advice
yourself,
you,
develop. Well, there's an interesting thing I've been thinking of. Been thinking about doing a lesson series on my process, what I do when I'm figuring out stuff and how to listen to things. So that you probably would like that, because I tell you, Michael, probably I don't know. I haven't heard you play. I don't, but just hearing your story, people tend to fall in the same categories, and you probably have a really great ear. You're maybe just not having enough patience with yourself to actually listen and figure out what's going on. In fact, I'll give you three things to try this. Pick something you want to pick a song that you think you could pick out that'd be possible. Turn it on, and the first thing I want you to listen to is the bass note, not the bass piano note, the bass guitar. That's going to tell you what the chord is most of the time, but it'll at least be the bass note. So you pick that out, find it. You can match the pitch, right? If you hear the
yep,
pitch, you can.
yeah, I could
All
I
right.
could find the
And the
key.
next thing is to pick out the highest note on the piano part, the chord. Try to pick something that's kind of chord based, just to start with, just to and pick out that soprano note on the right hand, and then try to fill in the middle and just try stuff out till it sounds right. And then repeat that. Go to the next chord, bass, soprano, and then try to fill in the middle and get close as you can. Your ear will start to develop, but that's where you start: bass, soprano, and then try to fill in the middle. And when you're listening to the bass, listen to the bass guitar. Unless it's just piano, then you can listen to the bass octave. And see where that gets you. That might be the thing that breaks you loose and get you going with that. But as far as your daughter, with the songs, I mean, she's quite young. Look on the website and look at all of the level 1 stuff as far as the difficulty. Try to pick something out of there, and maybe just an introduction to a song. You don't got to do the whole song, just an intro, you know, and you don't have to do the intro. Like if someone's learning Piano Man, and they're new, I'll leave out the intro. I'll start with this, because it's just chords. And all the chords are kind of right together, and the left hand's just moving down one note at a time. So I'll say, skip the intro, go straight to the chords. And since you can play already, you can really do this well with her. And you can sing the song you can sing it while she's playing. And if she's a little slow, that's okay. She'll still be able to tell. And then try something else. Try the Eleanor Rigby. That's all kind of all in one place. The Beatles have a lot of easier things. And if she doesn't know a song, then start playing it in the background in the house. She'll pick it up. So that's how you do that. You don't go, oh, I don't know that one. Oh, well, let's go to another. Well, she's only 5. She hasn't heard all the good music there is to learn. So have that music going in the background so that when you go to it, she's like, oh, that's the song we've been playing and singing. And then go. And so parts of songs, and keep a repertoire. Print out that sheet or whatever she's doing, put it in a folder so she knows this is what I have. Then you add to it. But every time you practice, don't finish Piano Man and then never play it again. Play it every time. Play it every time, and then add another one. Play that one every time. Now you're playing 2 every time. Add another one. Now you're playing 3 every time. So eventually she sits down and she's playing 5 songs, maybe pieces of 5 songs that she can do. And she keeps that in her repertoire, because playing those old things over and over again, I don't know why, but it has a tremendous effect on making us better. It isn't like we check the box and then we never play it again. Keep her playing, get her a repertoire going. And, but I'd start with Let It Be by the Beatles. I'd start with Imagine by John Lennon. I'd start with the chords to Piano Man, but not the intro and not the solo, just the chords. Stuff like that. Then maybe... Let's see, Desperado's also another one. That's the intro's a little bit, but not so bad. But once the verse starts, Desperado, then you can start at that point and just have her do chords. But get her playing songs that are chord based. There's so many of them. Let It Be by the Beatles. Beatles have a ton of them. Eventually, then you get to, I don't know. You can get to some Journey songs. Just intro chord based stuff, and just try it out. If it's too hard for her, trash it and try another thing, but just get her all these little parts and pieces of songs that she's playing all the time and play that music in the house. Have it going, get it on a playlist and turn it up and let her hear it in the background. Put it in the car so she's listening all the time. My daughter knows all the Billy Joel songs, all the Elton John songs, all that. She's listened to everything. She knows more music than I do. So, any questions on things as far as that goes with helping your daughter?
Um, no, I think that's good. I guess what do you see the most that, in people, I guess like me that, I still don't I wouldn't say I made it. I did,
None of us ever
stop,
have. We never feel
right?
that way.
No, you did, Shawn. You did. Um, I'm trying to think. You already caught something that I've already been doing that I'm going to stop, which is correcting her and saying we're not ready to move on. Because
Yeah,
I think back to my childhood, and I didn't. I'm still a perfectionist, and
me
I
too.
don't think that turned me. I don't think that turned me off. I think it made me better, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I stopped playing at some point, so I'm just trying to think of things that I can do to make sure that she keeps advance. Basically the things that you see in students that you're like, this is why they stop, and how do you correct it along the way and don't let them stop. I
Yes.
don't know if I'm asking it
Yeah.
correctly.
Course correction. Think about she's just those little toys you wind up and then they just go real slowly across the floor. You're winding it up and you're getting her back on the course if she gets off, but most of it is her just playing and loving the music. So you have to pick your moments, what you're going to correct and also what you're not going to touch so that she can still have fun and play, because if you ask her to do something, she's going to think, oh, if I can't do this, I'm not good enough. And you want to keep away from that I'm not good enough part. And we're so used to the way our teachers taught us, even though we know that was wrong how they did it, whether they knew it or not. Even though we knew that was a bad way to teach, that's still going to come out of us because that's how we learn. So we really have to try extra hard not to be like some of the teachers that taught us, well-meaning as they were. I had the sweetest piano teacher, but she had no idea that I wasn't reading the music, um, and being hypercritical and all that. So that turns us off for sure. So pick your moments. And some people say, well, that makes you tough. That makes you tough if they're super critical. I don't think so. I don't buy that. I always did much better when I was encouraged because I'm hard enough on myself. I don't need someone to be hard on me. I'm already hard on myself, and I'm trying to do the best I can anyway. But I always did better if I felt like I was encouraged and I had freedom to make a mistake if I was going to make one, not fear of making a mistake. So yeah, so it'll take both of you. And if you get to a place where she learns a few songs or something, and you have some questions, you can take a little video of her hands, and you don't need to put her face in the video, just her hands and what it sounds like. Send it to me, and I'll give you a suggestion or something. You can even, if she wants to show off a little bit, have a little performance, and we'll post that so everybody can look at it and give her compliments on it. So we can do that too.
Thank you, Shawn.
Yeah. So I want to ask you these questions now, if you don't mind. They're just for our videographer. And again, you might feel like you're repeating yourself, but just bear with me on it.